I'm sure he'll join us when he is ready.
Maybe. We'll see. Glenn, where are you, Glenn? Glenn's pulling a Scott Rosema this morning.
Glenn's MIA. We're not sure where he is.
Come on in, folks. We see you out there. It's time for another Comics by Night. Yeah. At least we won't play as long of an opening as you get on Nerd Bacon. But there's no bacon frying today, folks. We're just running. We're going to look at this great 2001 treasury with fantastic art by Jack Kirby that so few people have seen. That's why we're doing it. Love doing this. Hope you're here to have a good time. And let's run that opening.
And who's your favorite Marvel Comics hero? Mine is Superman. Remember the motto? With great power comes great responsibility.
That's right.
What was that? This is not a charade. We need total concentration. Now, once again, this time, with theory.
Maybe Glenn will join us in our second hour. We need to run this morning just in case.
The views and opinions expressed within the video content found on the Indie Comics Network are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Indie Comics Network or its sponsors.
Yep.
Now comes the part where we throw our heads back and laugh. Ready?
Ready!
Come on in, folks. 2001, A Space Odyssey by the great Jack Kirby. Marvel Treasury special from 1976.
Wow. 2001, that was like 22 years ago. Where's my backpack? Why isn't there a base on the moon? What's going on?
A base on the moon that we know of.
Yeah. Remember, kids, there is no spoon.
Remember, kids, there's usually no conspiracy theories either. So. Wuhan. Anyway.
Yeah.
Here we go. Great cover. This is the adaptation from the movie 2001 that Kirby did. They let him go loose on an entire Treasury edition. The ultimate trip becomes the ultimate illustrated adventure. Oh, I should blow this up too so that we are solo screen.
Who scripted this?
I believe Mr. Kirby did.
Oh. Yeah, that's perfect. If you just move the comic book up a little bit, that'd be perfect. That's it.
I think I'll just move the whole thing up. Well, I'll move the whole
thing
up here.
Don't do it.
Gotta do it. Gotta do it.
Just move the comic book up.
Early morning fudging. Come on. And don't worry if I'm creasing this book, if you're freaking out, I swear to you. Let me find the bag that it was in. Oh, there's the note that just fell on next to the camera. Anyway, I had evidence. I paid a whopping $5 for this book.
Yeah.
So
it's a reader.
It definitely is. A little bit battering here along the spine. Little crack right there. So don't freak out.
Yeah, I'm afraid my comic book collection won't be worth anywhere near as much as it could be because I read it all. I flick through stuff. I don't do the whole bagging and the whole slabbing stuff. I can appreciate why people do it, but it's not for me. Books for reading. So.
Well, that everybody's going to think it's a trap. I got long boxes that have books that are unbagged and unboarded, sitting there from as far back as the 40s. So, 2001: A Space Odyssey, Jack Kirby.
Look at that.
Aaron, inked by Frank Giacoa. Archie Goodwin and Marv Wolfman are your editors here.
Well, they got a good team.
Yeah. It's probably right during their transition.
Yeah.
From when they were running the company. I think Goodwin had it for a very short period of time. I think. Is that straight? It's a little crooked.
That'll do. You can see it all.
Wrong way.
Don't fiddle with it. Don't do it.
I gotta do it. Gotta do it. Glenn's pulling a Rosama this morning. I thought Allison might come in, but that's okay.
Glenn will be here soon. I bet he's just forgotten.
He might be out running errands too, because he's not answering his Facebook.
He might be out running errands, but he ain't out running.
You never know with Glenn.
You never know. It's possible. Those lovely mountains he's done there, the rock work.
With the monolith begins the journey of man. Yeah.
Lovely.
Great astronauts. The universe communicates with man, and history's greatest adventure is launched upon the eternal roads of time and space. This is a trip you mustn't miss. There are sights you've got to see to which you will marvel.
Yeah, wow. Play on words. Clever.
Marvel. Yeah. That Jack. Of course, we open to
Monkeys.
The opening scene from 2001. Took me 3 times to watch 2001 in order to see it all the way through without falling asleep.
I love the way he's made a story out of this.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like this is a backup story. It's great. Moonwatcher the Man Ape.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Great look there. Love Frank's inking on this. Too, I really like it. Works real well. Another big scene here. Ape's getting excited.
And the elephant. I like that.
Yep. Tree. It's just
Gone for that 3D effect.
made for a regular comic size because the lettering is a little extra size.
Yeah.
I can almost read it with my computer glasses on. Maybe I'll send him the link. Direct him here. Come on in, folks. We know you're out there. I got to change my Facebook around too now that I think about it. Just got a friendly reminder from Facebook that I'm starting a live broadcast.
Oh, Brian's going to be here soon. Don't worry, everyone. Brian will be here soon.
Yep, got it. Nice to see. We are live now over on my Facebook page, which seems to get some views. So it's all good. Shall we stall? We can always stall.
Yeah.
The cops are doing their job as long as they don't be mean to people who are actually being innocent. Then I'm all gravy, baby.
We can all be gravy, baby. Too early in the morning for that one. Too early in the morning for that one.
Yeah, yeah.
Can't nobody tell me nothing. You can't tell me nothing.
There we are.
Don't mess with the bull, young man. You'll get the horns.
Yeah.
Classic from the Breakfast Club. Brian will be here in a second. We are looking at the 2001 Treasury, which nobody seems to do anymore.
No, I really like the scene selection. The way he's composing the panels is lovely. That top left panel, all the apes around the river.
Yeah.
Stop messing with your lights. It was fine before.
Got
You're
this
a
little
fiddler.
sheen on the side. I'm a fiddler.
Randy Zimmerman, you are a fiddler. Is that what your mum used to say?
No, she used to say much worse than that. I took my lumps for comics, literally. So, fiddle, fiddle.
There you go. That'll do. That's it. Perfect.
That'll do. That'll do. That'll do, pig. That'll do.
That'll do, pig. That'll do. Don't know quite what he's doing with that bird in the top panel, but looks a bit weird.
There's a bird over here.
No, on the right hand side, there's a bird at the bottom of the panel.
Oh, he's just flying there. Yeah,
just a bit odd.
It's a lot better than the when I first looked at this panel. It looked like the ape was dancing.
doing a little jig. Yeah. No, he's running away from the lion.
He's running away. Run away. Here we go. Kirby Crackle at its finest.
The crackles turned up. Fantastic. Yeah. Although he's changed this, I like the way he's changed the shape of the monolith to work with his panels.
It's a little stubby, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, when it first started, it was it looked too much like a pack of cigarettes, from what I understand, with Kubrick.
Yeah. It's got to look a bit strange, isn't it?
And this was back in the age of practical effects too, because I understand they had to go through a number of plastics manufacturers in order to get a slab of plastic that sheened the way that they wanted it to.
Oh, it's an amazing looking film. It really is.
Yeah.
Especially when it was done. I mean, it's still, even today, you watch it and it's beautiful.
It's one of those, you get those touchstones in cinema where they go, this is what we can do. Look at this. And everybody else tries to catch up to it for the next decade or so.
Oh, for the next 50 years.
Yeah. Well, 2001, it was a good 10, 20 years, at least.
These colors are so simple, aren't they? They're great.
Yeah. Well, this is back when, these guys, the colorists all come out of a background of using the CMYK stuff. John Costanza colored it. No, it's colored by Marie Severin and Jack Kirby. Lettered by John Costanza. Yeah.
So what I got for the Only Death books is I went out and got a Bronze Age color swatches.
Okay.
And they're all in CMYK.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, back when I did a lot of screen print work, we were working off of a Pantone book. That was driving me crazy for a while.
Yeah, Pantone. Because Pantone colors were king for print.
Yeah,
as far as like small print was concerned.
Mm-hmm.
And so you always had this like designer stroke printer interaction where the printer would be like, no, it's CMYK, and the designers are like, yeah, but I like the Pantone color. And it's like, oh, Jesus Christ, you just pick a bloody color, will you?
Well, the one time, go ahead.
Give me the percentage. That's the end of it.
Yeah, exactly. The one time I worked with Marvel on doing did a shirt for a convention.
Right.
X-Men shirt that was 5 colors. So we didn't have process color at the time. They had to send us the exact Pantone number for the Beast.
Yeah.
That this is the Beast blue, this number. You have to hit this number. We wanted to see a swatch of it, to make sure it was color correct. And nowadays they just color them whatever blue they want to slap on.
Well, yeah, it's just
all sorts of different shades.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's one of the main gripes I have with so much nowadays is that there's no conformity.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that in a bad way. What I mean is there's no consistency between one view of a character and another.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like every time they're putting a comic with a different title and a different writer, they're a different character.
Right.
And that goes all the way down to like color choices and all kinds of stuff. You're fiddling again.
I am.
It was fine the way it was, sir.
It's better now. Anyway.
No, you're sending my OCD off the edge now. It's angled now. It was straight before. It lined up with the camera. What are you doing to me?
You're using the top or bottom edge?
Bottom edge. I can't see the top edge. There you go. Oh, I'm getting palpitations.
Better now.
That's great.
All right.
You're so nice to me, Randy.
I try. That's because you're the only one here.
Yeah. If there was someone else here, Russ, I wouldn't be nice to yourself.
Exactly. More apes on the next page.
Yeah, apes. It's
And
an ape
boars.
thing. Oh yeah, they're getting into that boar.
Wild boar.
Yeah. I just like the strange way that he's drawn that boar. It's wonderful. It's a Jack Kirby boar.
Oh yeah. So true.
Brilliant.
It's like that with everything, though. You ever look at Kirby for not just the crackle, but the way he draws rocks and the whole dynamics of it. It took me a long time to appreciate Kirby, you know.
Yeah. It's a style on its own.
It is.
It is a style on even to the point that because I've seen a few people draw and then ink a bit like various versions of Buscema, and they've done a really good job. Do you know what I mean? It's hard to tell the difference, but I find that anybody who tries to draw like Jack Kirby, you can spot them.
Brian K. Moritz in the house. Brian, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you guys?
Yeah, better for seeing you, Brian.
Good.
I know. Where's Glenn?
Sleeping, I think.
I thought maybe he tied his leash around a tree and drove off or something.
Maybe it's his birthday. He's having a bath or something.
Oh, that could be. I understand then.
He's the one that wanted to go through this book too.
Oh, of course. Yeah, no problem.
I reckon he's just forgotten that the hours are different. That's all. I think he's just cocked up.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, you don't have to deal. You didn't have to deal with that this week. So
that's true.
No, we don't know. Like I say, normally it's just a week between. I think it was a week between us last autumn, but depending on the dates, for us it's the last weekend in March.
Yeah, that's next weekend.
Oh, but I'm looking here. I'm seeing some good stuff.
This looks like Frasetta's Nathanderals here painting.
Yeah,
coming out of the fog.
Yeah,
out of the mist. Glenn, come back, Glenn.
All is forgiven. No, this is beautiful. I remember when this came out, the adaptation, and you just you think of adaptations at the time, you think of like Roy Thomas doing all of them, and I just thought Jack did a terrific job on this. Even though his the original film was pretty quiet for the most part. There wasn't a overabundance of dialogue. You probably could have written all the dialogue on a 3x5 card, but Kirby tends to be a bit verbose at times with his writing, which is fine. It suits him to the ground, but this just works. And he fills in the gaps that the film didn't.
I love the way that it's almost like a fill-in story for the ape. The ape environment. They've given him a name. He gave him a name. He made a character. He effectively made a character out of the ape. And there is obviously there is some story in the film. The idea is the impression the film gives is they're affected in some way by the monolith.
Right.
And that in that way, potentially the monolith may well be affecting them because of the noise that you hear, the tone, and they all freak out. That it's in some way changing their DNA or affecting the evolution of man as a species in a very sort of slight way. But that's and then of course there's the act of killing the other ape. So there's like this thing about war and what have you. But it's all quite lightweight, really. It's just sort of pointing you in the right direction so that you've got a setup for the rest of the film. Whereas Kirby's made this whole story out of this gang of apes, and look at all the wording, and it's like they're both visual mediums, and the film didn't need any words, and he's like chucked all this script in, and it's fantastic.
It really is. No, you're absolutely right. And I remember at the time seeing the movie, and of course I was too young to really understand it. I had to read the book to figure it out. But they kept saying the obelisk was like was it an alarm clock, or was it the thing that affected the change? And I think Kirby changed that to make it more of kind of a little bit of both. to give him, give mankind that push and to observe things. Whereas I think Stanley Kubrick mostly, I think he saw it as more or less an alarm clock. It's like, okay, the apes just killed somebody. Okay, better alert the superiors. They're at the next stage of evolution. So
okay, yeah. I mean, there's so many ways of interpreting it, isn't there?
Yeah.
But I mean, having to. So we've talked before. We had that fantastic story by Steranko that had no words in it. That he had to fight over.
Oh yeah.
Or the start of the prologue of the story. And that needed no words. Okay. Right. And yet we've got a situation here where a film has no words. Okay. And so you'd think the easiest thing to do would just be, I'll just draw the pictures from the film. I won't put any words in.
Right.
But he's created. He's just gone ahead and just gone, right, I'm going to make a whole bloody story out of this. And he's done it. It's fantastic.
It's genius. It really is. And I noticed in the credits, he got one of his favorite inkers on it, Frank Giacoia. I've read interviews said that he loved Giacoia's inking over him.
It's without doubt the best inker on him, I think. But
I agree.
Apart from Joe.
Oh yeah. Clearly, yeah. I agree.
Joe. Oh, Sinnott.
Joe Sinnott. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I always liked the last couple, Royer and Thurbeau. I thought were really good.
I like Royer. He kind of put a little gloss on Kirby that I think he needed.
Yeah,
I'm a Sinnott lover, so there you go.
Oh, no, we can still be friends. I'm in agreement with you. He's
ever in love with Joe Sinnott things. So.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's lovely.
It's nice, isn't it?
It is. It really is.
I was saying about the obviously there's only so much you can do with the colors, but they work so well. I think in general the color with the way that Kirby's style is, the colors work better without being overworked. I've got a couple of reprints, and there's some like shading and like lighting effects. It's like, no, don't do that. And now once again, just like constantly looking at these things, coming back, seeing them, going away, reading them, coming back, I can now see so much of Minola, or I can see so much of Jack Kirby's work in Minola now. Although they are very different styles, but this sort of the block, the heaviness of it, the solidity, the energy, and then you even the use of colors in the older books, these flat colors that for instance, so well done in Hellboy. You can just see it. It's there for anyone to see.
Exactly.
Just because you have access to the technology doesn't mean that you have to always use it.
Exactly. And I made a conscious choice with Only Death to make it like that. I mean, it's not as flat as this as far as the color choices are concerned. It's got more shading in it, but still, it's basic. Do you know what I mean? I didn't want like lots of lighting effects and shading and stuff. I just wanted it to come over as a Saturday morning cartoon more than anything, actually. But that choice of colors and the way you're exactly right, Randy. You don't just because you can do it doesn't mean you have to do it.
Right.
Oh yeah. And that's one of the reasons I think your book works so well, that it has that Kirby-esque palette to it. And I'm loving that right-hand panel, lower right, where the beating. And you look at the pencils themselves, it's almost like the impact is creating the light source.
Yeah.
I just think that's a brilliant panel.
Yeah. Pulls the lines, action lines, pull your attention right to it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the Kirby's style. People don't get it. I didn't get it for the longest time.
Me either.
People just it's so hard to get. Once you got it, once you understand, you realize how far you are behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how pathetic a lot of the people that mimic his style are.
Yeah. Well, I was saying when you came in, it's like
thank you.
Very much so.
There's some great artists out there who do the odd mimicking of John Buscema.
Yeah.
And you can they do a really good job at it. Do you know what I mean? A really good job.
Yeah.
But whenever anybody whenever anybody tries to copy Kirby, it's obvious. You can see it a mile off that they're not.
Oh yeah.
Kirby.
Yep.
You know, there's something about the way he drew, the energy that he put in, the bizarre, and it is bizarre, the bizarre nature of his style. Okay, that it's completely unique. Nobody else has done it. Nobody else will do it.
Agreed. I mean, the person one of the few people I think comes closest, and he's kind of the synthesis of Kirby and Buscema, is Ron Frenz.
Ron Frenz is fabulous.
He's amazing.
But again, it doesn't look like he's copying. It's just,
that's the key.
You can see how much both those, little bit of Sal as well, Sal Buscema, like all the way into Ron Frenz. Ron Frenz's work is it's almost like if you took all the essences of Bronze Age and filled it into a single artist, that would be Ron Frenz. His work is absolutely stunning. I love his stuff.
I do too.
And it's got so many of the elements of those greats from that time in it. But yeah, it's just there's something when people try and copy Kirby's style, often what they're doing is the crackle, the lines, like the rocks up there, or maybe the way that there's like, you know, the ridiculous foreshortening. What they seem to forget is that things like that bottom right hand panel, where there is no lighting involved in that.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a ridiculous thing to make that a lit shot in the way that it is if you were to be drawing like John Buscema.
Right.
Okay. But and that's not to say that John Buscema wouldn't have done this and hasn't done this. All I'm saying is the mastery of the art, like all of those great artists had, leads Kirby there to do something with that panel that, with all intents and purposes, is incorrect.
Yeah.
And yet he does it in a masterful way, and it makes the panel. It makes it fantastic.
Yeah.
Plus knowing not to add a sound effect here.
Yeah.
Doesn't need one. Yeah.
Right.
Doesn't need one. Bonk.
And I think Marie Severin
make it funny.
And I think Marie Severin colored it, and kudos to her for understanding that panel.
Yeah. Marie and Jack are both attributed to coloring on this.
Yeah, and I mean, if I'm looking at it correctly, there's only 2 colors in that whole thing.
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah.
And you know, if somebody did it now, you know, it'd be, you know, with all the Photoshop effects, it'd be like, you know, like you guys said, just because you got it doesn't mean you have to use it.
Right.
You know, there'd be about 58 different colors, and all of them would be shades of brown and navy.
Bad orange, purples, dark purples.
In the third book of Only Death, which is a year off yet, unfortunately. I'm changing up the style. So that the action, and it's got a meta aspect to it. So effectively something has changed in the universe. And so the style changes on the page.
Oh, nice.
Speaking of the universe changing, here's Glenn.
Hi, Glenn.
Yeah,
Good morning, Glenn.
I forgot about this bloody hour thing.
I told you, didn't I? Told you.
Russ wins. Russ wins.
Yeah,
Dollar for Russ.
You're right.
Sorry about that.
It was either that or you were out for a run. That's what we figured.
Yeah, don't bet on that one.
Nothing was chasing him, so
unless you want to rewind to 1978.
Well, this is 1976. So
I know. Right.
So anyway, what I was finishing off, the style will be that much more detailed. There's going to be more line work in it, but I'm going to be holding back on the colors. The colors will end up being flats.
Oh, okay.
What we're talking about? What we're talking about?
Just my book, just because we were talking about the coloring in here and how it interacts with the artwork and how it makes a different effect in the way that you're reading, and the master stroke of that bottom right hand panel and the colors that were done in it, and how you can use that in your own work, basically. How you don't have to, great what Randy said, just because you can do it in Photoshop doesn't mean you have to do it.
Exactly.
You can make it nice and straightforward and tell the story. And also what's really important is give yourself your own unique look. What's great about Kirby is he had a unique look. Nobody else has come close. Okay. And as far as that uniqueness is concerned, as far as that, you just like pick him out every time.
Yeah.
Even to the point, as I was saying a little bit earlier, you can even pick out the people that are copying him. You know when it's Kirby and when it isn't.
Yeah.
And I think that's important to everyone out there who's drawing. Okay. Who's not just drawing, but drawing, composing, coloring, all of it is try and give yourself your own look. because it will eventually stand out. Okay, it doesn't matter what the trends are. All right. Oh, we want 90s. Oh, we're always back to the 90s now. Oh no, we love the 80s. Oh no, I love this stuff. Like, no, give yourself your own look, and in time it will work for you.
And the 70s and 80s were really a period of individualism, where you had a lot of these guys working on deadline, but doing their stuff their way, and it's just amazing to see all of the variety of styles and
such a richness from the period.
I think I can tell that's John Constanza lettering, and that's a big one for me.
Oh yeah,
it is.
He's one of my favorite letterers. He is fantastic.
Do we know who's colored this? Does it say at the beginning of the book?
Yeah, Kirby and Marie Severin.
Oh right, okay. Right.
So Kirby probably went down and laid basic colors, and Marie went through and did her magic.
It was against Donnie and Marie. They didn't color it.
No, not Donnie and Marie.
I'm a little bit country. I'm a little bit rock and roll.
That still may apply here. I'm not sure. Ready? Something else Kirby is known for.
Oh, bam!
Well, a couple something else is actually.
Look how that just flows. Fabulous. It just flows from that left-hand panel with the bone, and the second panel turning into the spaceship, and turning into that collage. OMG, that's a masterwork.
On the moon. I love it. I love the fact that he's done this Kirby Marvel thing to it, like having that, like I said, almost like a backup story, making the apes their own story, and then connecting it, and now it is the thing on the moon. I just love it.
Oh yeah.
I want to know if somebody had an issue with that collage, whether they should pay him or not.
True.
Yeah. Well, all it was photographs, Jack.
Still hard. He had to paste it all together.
Yeah.
Well, you know what these editors are like.
Yeah.
Darn them all.
Well, I think Kirby was at a point here in 76 where they let him go do what he wanted to do.
I think the best thing about the collage is that they've left it in black and white.
Yeah.
Because if you think of all the colors that would have been on there, you would have lost it.
There is a hint of light blue on the moon, just to drop it back.
Yeah.
But where else are you going to throw color without getting it in the way?
No, I meant the color, like the shuttle might have been in color. That orbiter would have been in. I know it's white, but it would have had blue shadow.
It would have been easy to chuck some ridiculous colors on it. Yeah.
It just wouldn't have looked right though.
No. It's fabulous, isn't it? I wonder where that is now.
The picture? Who knows?
No, I mean the artwork. I mean, I hope Jeremy's got it.
Yeah. And again, folks, don't worry about me creasing the book here. I didn't pay a lot for it. So
still sacrilege, Randy.
I know. But it's still a very tight spine. In fact, there's a couple of staples right here on it in order to secure it instead of the standard glue for the
I think some
just to make the point of that.
That might be why it was so cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just go back a page to that collage, please. And this will prove my point. And I've only just seen this since I made that point. Look at that collage, and now look at the front cover. Go to the front cover. That's my point. All that color on there disjoints the eye to me, and I think that's a really good decision by someone to do that. And I know it's got that light blue tint on it, but do that color, black and white over the page.
I think about modern coloring, and on that page, oh my god, I'm nauseous just thinking about it.
There are some comics out there colored in Photoshop that are good. I mean, I love picking up a comic, especially some of the independent books where the colorist knows what they're doing.
Well, that's the key.
Does a very impressive job.
I love all kinds of color work on comic. There can be the more mechanical, Photoshopy stuff. Then there's painted stuff, whether that be digital or traditional. And if it's done well, it's fabulous. It's only if it's a case of, oh well, I've got Photoshop, let's chuck it on. Those are the problems. Those are the problem coloring.
Unfortunately, with the technology, you'd see so much of that digitally. It's all digitally colored anymore. But there was a period back during this era in the 80s where there were a lot of watercolor books out there. A lot of people watercoloring with Dr. Martin dyes that were amazing. In fact, now comics come up with a way to colorize that. They were able to photograph onto a board that was comic book size that had a piece of vellum film in front of it that caught all of the blacks, and then at the same time when the camera caught that, it burned a light blue pattern into the board below, so you could lift up that vellum and paint on the board and then bring your black screen back down on it.
Oh, okay, interesting.
That's always fascinated me, that now had come across that system. And so if you look at the Now comics, the Green Hornets, and even Ralph Snart, you'll see a nice graduated tone working in there. A lot of still super bright colors, though, because they were working in Dr. Martin dyes. Nice. And then shooting right off of that with the black screen overlaid onto it. They'd shoot another picture of it and then use that for the plate.
Right.
Where here we're very much using the primary palette. Solid colors.
I like the way Jack's done one of the iconic scenes in this film where that girl walks up the wall and goes into the other doorway. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the thing. I think in this adaptation, Jack does hit those high point visual areas, that Kubrick set up.
Yeah, right out of the movie.
Yeah, but puts his own spin on it, which is what makes this book magical.
Classic Kirby shadow there.
Yeah, that's great. The only way this could be improved, in my opinion, is Joe Sinnott had have inked it. This is Giacomo, isn't it?
We were discussing that earlier.
That's what Russ said. Yeah.
Okay, well, there you go. And this sequence here, where he talks to the Russian people, Russell know this. They always gets a laugh in the cinema because the guy with the pipe in the film would be what's he called? Rising Damp.
Leonard Roster.
Yeah. And when this came out, nobody knew who he was. So he was just a guy. And then 10 years later, he had that huge success with Reggie Perry and all that sort of stuff. And I went to the cinema to see it, and everybody laughed when he appeared, because he's a funny guy.
Expecting him to tip a martini or something.
Yeah.
That's it, love. You sit back and have a little bit of a rest.
Yeah.
Instead, he's the science guy because he's got the pipe, just like Doc Magnus and the middleman.
Pipes. Pipes
it's Reed Richards' cousin.
Yeah.
It's the way to have an intelligent nerd, isn't it? Because all the nerds had glasses.
Yeah.
All right. But if you take the glasses off and give them a pipe, they become a bit of a hunk and clever.
Did Reed ever smoke a pipe?
Yeah, early on.
I bet he did. Yeah.
And first issue of FF, I think.
Yeah, I thought he did. Yeah.
A rather nice pork pie hat as well.
Yeah.
and was very slim, wasn't he? Then it suddenly bulked out a bit.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I always carry a pipe when I do personal appearances, so people will think I'm a serious author.
I don't think
it's not the Fez that would have given that away.
The Fez and the pipe.
Dignity, always dignity.
I tell you what we should do, if the four of us are ever on a panel anywhere, we should get a Fez and a pipe and
all
four of us with a Fez.
All four of us, But wait till the person speaks. So if Randy speaks first, he puts his Fez and he gets his pipe, and then whoever speaks next gets their pipe.
The Fez and the pipe.
Yeah, and whoever's talking, we call him Brian. So
Brian doesn't have either.
Everybody is Brian. Yeah.
If everyone's Brian isn't special anymore.
It's like in Monty Python, where everybody is Bruce. Yeah.
They don't make a bus short enough for me.
Steady on.
Again, last two panels here. So Kirby.
Yeah.
Little crackle here. Nice little blue around it.
Yeah.
Just greatly done.
It's like you said. It's great the way he has encaptured what he's talking about. The film.
Mm-hmm.
Yet he's still got enough of his own mark on it.
Yeah,
to make it his.
That's a very Kirby panel to me.
Yeah,
I wonder what if Kubrick ever saw this.
I don't know.
I wonder what he would have thought about it.
He might have had to give permission somewhere down the line because he does sort of co-own a lot of his work. So
that's
true.
Maybe he's got a piece of artwork hanging in his front room.
Yeah, you never know. Yeah.
Well, knowing Kubrick, he's probably a comic fan. So
yeah.
He's probably in seventh heaven, going through these. Kirby did my stuff. It's great.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And there's more dialogue on any one of these pages than there is the entire film.
That's right. Yeah.
Yes, there is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Here we go.
Photos. Had to have access to the film.
Yeah.
I would say.
Look at the angle. Look on the next page where those guys are on the top on the rock on the moon. Look at the angle of that orbiter coming in. That look at it. Look at that angle. Like a missile coming out, isn't it?
Yeah.
Guy who's piloting that knows what he's doing.
Yeah. Neil Armstrong's flying that.
Yeah.
In the film, it comes straight down, doesn't it? You can see those guys on top of the rock, aren't they? It comes straight down.
But it wouldn't have been as dramatic.
Yeah. And it's part of the aids the composition, brings you into the city.
Yeah.
And I can just imagine any budding astrophysicist is looking at this going, holy crap! It's gonna crash!
The bigwigs have been expecting it. The bigwigs.
Because we all know all those people in spacesuits, they're just like taxi drivers and bricklayers and stuff. They just go out there in the spacesuits, and all the clever guys are back at the base with their pipes and their physics.
And this guy talking, the bigwigs guy, the bigwigs have been expecting it. Like he's just some sort of grunt out on the surface taking pictures, like he'd know,
Yeah, I haven't got a clue what I'm talking about here. Yeah. All right, Dave. All right, Bob. What's happening today? I don't know, but the bigwigs are coming down.
Said exactly.
Because that's how scientists talk.
Here comes an Ares 3.
Oh, dear.
Bigwigs have been expecting it. Now we'll find out what in blazes has turned this place upside down. This guy was going to say, let's hope they brought cake.
Except they only brought ham and chicken sandwiches, didn't they?
Yeah.
It's like, I've been on the moon for bloody 6 months and I haven't had cake in ages. Lovely colour work again.
Yeah. Boom. Just red. Then a little red up there just to drive it home. Yep.
That sequence is in red, isn't it? In the film where the
it is.
lander comes in. Yeah,
Yep.
I'm surprised they didn't do more with that because that's quite a dramatic scene when it comes down on those little leg things and lands.
And look at what he's
done. They got to move. This is a funny book. This is the comic, man. It's got to click along here.
How easy would it have been to photocopy the panel and just change the position?
Yeah,
but he hasn't. He's moved in closer.
Yeah.
They're two different drawn panels.
Yeah. But he's taken the decision to pan the camera just that little bit closer to what's going on.
Yeah.
That, and he squished it to put it here.
Right.
The doorway here is a lot larger than that doorway.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is he's changed the angle and he's moved in just slightly. Whereas it would have been so much easier to just photocopy, duplicate the panel. It wouldn't have made a huge amount of difference, but he's just taken that care.
Mm-hmm.
Especially after doing all this photo work.
Yeah, I'm just going to say that. Yeah, it's taken the stills of it and redrawn it twice. Or drawn it twice.
My first impression looking at that was Captain Victory.
Yeah.
And I was thinking Captain Kangaroo.
Oh, that too. Yeah.
Is that in that middle
And look at
panel?
that great shadow there.
Yeah.
In that middle panel, the girl with the side view, is that Sue Storm?
Could be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is she up there? What's she doing up there?
She snuck aboard.
Like you do.
She wasn't here a second ago. She must have been invisible.
Could be.
Oh. Sorry, Conan the Barbarian has just dropped from £100 to £95. Sold.
Yeah, I'm there.
Oh, which Conan?
The original omnibus.
£95?
Yeah.
Oh.
Good God.
Oh, is it the first one?
It's it's the original omnibus. It's volume 2 because volume 1 was 120 quid.
Wow.
Well, it's 120. It's 150, I think, retail, actual retail when it was out. But yeah, those will never be reprinted again. So get them if you can. And the second volume's all Buscema, isn't it? Pretty much.
Yes,
Buscema
that's why I've got my eye on it because the
Yeah.
second volume is all Buscema.
A little bit of Kane, I think, in that as well.
That's an awful lot of money.
That's an awful lot of Buscema, though. Holy
Yeah.
crap!
That's a lot of dough.
Them books are big. More Kirby.
That's another device. The bottom two panels on the previous page with that guy, this next on the page, yeah, that guy there. Another device is to have a sort of a scientist kind of person, an elderly man, a good-looking man, sort of 55, with a mustache and a little fringe beetle haircut going on, makes him look serious as well, like Einstein or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Very 70s though, with the
tropes.
That's what we would call the porn stash there.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, kids, I remember before the days there was a porn hub, you know? We had to go out and get our own pornography, kill it in the winter, and bring it home for the family.
The only way to do that was to grow myself a porn stash.
I used to run a chain. I used to run a chain of bookstores with an adult aisle. I can tell you, I made some pretty good profit sharing there for a few months when they were offering it.
Yeah, I mean, as far as I'm aware,
then.
Pornhub took brown paper bag business completely off the market.
Yeah, pretty much.
All your shares in plain brown paper bags just completely dropped through the floor after Pornhub came out.
I'm sure it did. The trees were happy.
Nobody was buying the mags anymore.
Oh, I love that panel in the upper left.
Holy crap! Diversity.
Yeah.
Who'd have thunk it?
Before it was fashionable.
Yeah.
Who'd have thunk it? Who would have had the sense to use a light purple shade here too?
Yeah.
Looks light purple. Little blue here. It's because of the blue.
He's also done the diversity thing as well. He's made the black guy the best looking one and the tallest.
There you go.
Yeah. Although I'm looking at panel 3 on that left-hand page, that looks like 50s Kirby.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like they called Joe Simon in for one panel. Joe, could you ink this?
Yeah.
And then we get this.
Yeah. Now that's a page.
Must admit, the thought of it is extremely exciting.
It's great the way they've coloured the cockpit red, because I think in the film it's red, and it really makes it stand out when it's going over the lunar surface, which is pretty sort of blue, isn't it, in the film, like that?
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking at the detail on the rocks and everything.
Yeah, me too.
Just fun.
Yeah.
Just fun. Yeah.
Those craters are odd. They look more like the ground's given way rather than been hit by a meteorite, don't they?
It's the Swiss cheese model.
That's adding to the hollow Earth or hollow moon theory.
Hollow moon.
Yeah. Hollow moon theory. Yeah, there you go.
Well, there is no theory. It is hollow.
I'll tell you what. If you watch the exterior panels, that Earth is always peeping behind the rock.
Peepee.
Yep.
In a different position.
Yeah.
Which is very strange.
But yeah, it looks great. Who cares? Looks
that'd be nice. Yeah, of course. That'd be nice on the wall, wouldn't it?
Oh, wow, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
What a page!
Oh, yes,
on
it
your
would.
wall.
It's probably what, a 20 grand page now,
Probably.
Yeah.
if it ever comes up for sale. At least, yeah.
Or there's probably somebody out there who's got the page. Go, oh man, this is a crap page. There's no characters on it.
Yeah.
I'm like, you keep thinking that, Sparky. You just keep thinking that.
yeah.
Here's my 20.
Oh wow!
And then,
then,
as if it couldn't get any better.
Good God!
And the thing is, it looks like Kirby invested the same amount of time and care to these 2 pages and the previous one that he would have a fight scene, or a panorama of Asgard or whatever. And how many artists today would do that? Oh, I gotta draw a moonscape. Screw that! I'm just drawing a couple circles. Let the inker fill it in.
You probably looked at it as a change of pace.
Oh, probably.
I'm drawing this moon. Look at this. I'm doing a 2-page spread right here.
I do that all the time. I just draw a couple of lines and let the inker do it, but I'm the inker.
The trouble is,
now you are the inker.
Yeah, I'm going to say you are the inker. Yeah.
I'm constantly arguing with myself.
and Inker Russ is going, "You bastard, penciler! I'm killing you."
Well, often what it is that there's an amount of time between the time you pencil and the time you ink anyway. So you'll be there penciling, you think, "Oh, no, I'll just flick that in," and you do get there and you're inking. You think, "You bastard! Why did you do that? Why did you do that to me 6 months ago, whenever it was you were doing those pencils? You knew I'd have to cope with it now."
I don't remember this being in the film.
No,
he's made that up.
Especially with the little Kirby mechanical touches here, just amazing.
Oh,
it's all Kirby, yeah. I mean, it's fabulous.
Who drew BS machinery like Kirby?
Oh yeah,
no one.
Exactly. And I like you got to stamp the name of the place on the side.
Yeah.
Mineral City.
See the stamper for that.
It sounds like a 60s car commercial. Mineral City, Mineral City, Mineral City. You want minerals? We got minerals.
Like putting a gigantic G on Galactus's chest.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Yeah.
This came from outer space, but I got a G. What's your name?
It's like the S on Superman, isn't it? It's completely coincidental. It's totally coincidental.
Well, they pass that off later as being, just an accident. That's the family symbol there. And just because it looks like an S here, it's just coincidental.
The G stands for hope.
Yeah.
I hope I eat this planet before someone catches me.
The G stands for gluttony.
Yum, yum.
Yum. Yeah. That would be if Claremont wrote it. Yum.
Yum.
Nom, nom.
Popped it like a grape.
That's bonkers.
Isn't it? It's crazy.
That's lovely.
I don't know. I'd like to have seen longer tails on those word bubbles. I'm being really picky. They just seem to be a little bit too close to that.
See what? Oh, longer tails?
Yeah.
Should have been pulled out a little bit.
Yeah, I think just a little bit more pulled out.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, and I'm sitting here going, "Oh, but you'd have covered up that crater." I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of craters going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe there should have been no dialogue on it, text on it at all.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
I think we'd have had an idea.
I don't know. Knowing how Martin Goodman was at the time, they probably said, "Well, you didn't put any dialogue on these pages, Jack, so we're not paying you for being a writer on any of them."
No,
so.
we're not paying you for the script.
Yeah.
Blue, blue. Our world is blue.
Look at that scene on the right there. They're going down into the.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right out of the
so cool.
Oh, here. Yeah.
No, the one. Yeah. Well, the one above and that one, both of them straight
both of
out.
those, really.
I know it's all out of the movie, but it really makes you think of the scene in the movie. Do you know what I mean? It's like taken directly. There's so far there's been a couple of points where it's almost like you directly connect with the scenes in the film.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't get all that great crackle here. All that great space, Kirby space in the movie.
Yeah. And it doesn't look like he just put tracing paper over a photograph.
Yeah.
No.
This is his touch. You can tell he's probably looking at the original picture, but he's not using it very directly, like a light box or anything.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, by the time you've traced it and then laid it down and then redrawn it, you could have just drawn it in the first place.
Yeah.
There is a possible future where quantum mechanics figures out that there's a way to traverse space without going through physical space. You have to go through another space, and when you go through that, like that hyperspace, it looks like Kirby's space, and they end up calling it Kirby space.
Yes.
Do you know why Jack draws it like that, don't you? Because he's actually been down through that wormhole.
No, yeah, he's been there.
He's not from here at all.
No, it was on his way back from Mars after he checked out the face. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, one hell of a coincidence.
That's one hell of a story, that isn't it? I mean, I don't. To suggest that Jack was in some way in with people who knew, I think, is a bit bizarre.
Yeah.
But I am more of a. I'm more of a person who leans towards the universe poking us all occasionally and having fun with us.
Yes,
and
I
I
agree
think
with
that
that,
was the universe having fun with us via Jack, personally.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now I want to write that story.
Where's Jack?
Dibs.
We could write a story where Jack is one of his cosmic beings.
He's Galactus.
Oh yeah, the universe pokes him, but he pokes back.
He'd have to have a K on his chest, though, wouldn't he?
Yeah, it'd be a big K.
Big K,
Yeah, big K. Or a big J. Yeah.
There we go. It stands for Hope, and his mom was Martha.
There you go.
Martha? Did you say Martha? Yeah, all right, mate. Yeah, great.
Yeah.
What a fantastic plot line that is.
Oh.
Just stare at that for a little bit.
Yeah,
I have been. I'm staring at the page on the left.
We've got to be really careful about dead air here, because whenever there's those pages that you turn over for Kirby and everybody just goes silent.
That's true.
They're just looking at the page. Oh my god, this is a Kirby page and it's so bloody wonderful. I can't speak.
Yeah, and I'm sitting here thinking, well, I hope one of those other three have something to say, because
I'm lost in this.
Yeah, I'm just going to sit here and groove on this for a few minutes.
The universe is cruel, though, because somebody should have filmed Jack drawing this.
Oh, that'd be good.
Just over his shoulder. Imagine that, sitting watching that for 14 weeks while he was drawing it.
Oh,
if it took him 14 weeks.
Yeah.
I don't think it
did. He had four other books in between to finish
he kicked it out in 4.
True.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That I love what he's done with that monolith.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's made it very sort of concretey, hasn't he? Granite sort of organic, I think the word is.
Yeah.
Instead of flat like Kubrick did it. It's like a Mother Box, Cosmic Cube type of thing, isn't it?
Yeah. It's the home of the source.
Yeah.
There you go. Just wait for that big hand to start scribbling on it.
Which it is the home of the. It is the home of the source, isn't it? In the film.
Yeah.
That's true.
I've got to watch this film again tonight.
And this is after
Thingy.
This is after New Gods.
Yeah.
This is when he came back to Marvel after.
Look at that.
Look at that red soil rock thing at the top. Look at that. How good is that?
And the power around the monolith and the way that the fact that they're standing in graduation, like they're coming back.
Yeah.
The depth in that is wonderful.
Yeah. And the way it's crackling, it's just begun to crackle, hasn't
you
it?
can see it's just the power's starting to build up and then flash. It's like,
And again, the restraint of Marie Severin.
Yes.
Just putting down what's important. And like in that top panel on the left, making everything pop with that contrast between the cooler color of the space guys and the warmer colors or the hot colors, at their feet. And that's just great decisions.
And the panel underneath where she's just colored. I know there's yellow there and blue, but just colored the faces.
Yeah.
And then some wonderful placement of text in the white out places on the panels on the right there.
Oh,
yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
So it completely changes the pace. Even though obviously you've got these 4 shots of a floating spaceship, completely different pace anyway. But then on top of that, the colors and then the placement of the text, so you don't have the yellow boxes around the text. Just complete change of pace. Boom. Stops you in your tracks. Massive build up. Bang, there it is, and boom. Just this quiet page.
And you get that sense of elegant movement that Kubrick gave, like in some of the space shots, where the ship is just kind of almost drifting through space, and you're getting that on that right-hand page.
Yeah. Yep. I think there's a special page coming up next as well, isn't there? Does he draw the ship outside?
I was going to say they're all special.
I'm going to say,
I know.
Aaron had done this whole book.
Look at that.
Now we got it.
Do you see what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Ahead lie the planets.
You called it.
How can you beat that?
Later.
How can you beat that? Just do that. Yeah.
The big stick. No.
Anyway. Oh my
God. George Lucas would have been looking at this.
He sure would.
Bet he would.
Because even though this is the design from the 2001,
it's the opening sequence.
Look at the way this is the opening scene from Star Wars.
Yes, very much so. And I'm sure he would freely admit that too. He's listed 2001 as a major reference.
But not just 2001.
Yeah,
2001. This comic book. Look. That angle. Everything about it screams Star Wars.
Oh yeah.
It does. This was done 1 year ahead of Star Wars.
Yeah, that's right.
The comic was. They were probably filming it at the time this book came up.
Yeah,
he's probably drawing it and filming it at the same time, weren't they?
Yeah,
because they made the principal photography of Star Wars was 1975, and if this came out
before this,
if this came out in 1976, it would have been drawn 6 months before it came out, so it might have been the same time.
Yeah,
yeah. We got to remember they'd have had the special effects on afterwards, wouldn't they?
Yeah,
right. Yeah. And you always hear about like this unconscious synergy that happens between people in creators in totally different geographical areas, but they latch onto the same idea and the same execution.
Yeah.
It's the 13 Monkeys thing, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah.
The thing that stands out apart from the entire page that most to me is the way that it's not rendered the communication disc.
Yeah, just left it white out.
Yeah. Because that would have taken away from the detail on the spacecraft.
Yeah,
that's true.
Fantastic, and also the amount of white space is left around the crackle and the the shooting stars underneath.
Yeah,
just very, very cleverly done. Just
very cosmic.
Oh, it's cosmic, all right.
Yeah. This is why it's the best.
Yeah,
yeah. And all the softer colors too.
Yeah. Oh, that ship stands out. It's like, wow.
Oh, it does. Yeah.
And there's also some kind of light source from the rear as well, isn't there, coming through?
Yeah. Bottom left, you've got a light source coming from there. Yeah.
And and on the engines, and then obviously the back of the communication disc,
and then masterful colors over the top of it. Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Another classic scene. Couple of classic scenes. Just about everything here
is
right out of the movie.
Rendered as I've ever seen anything, Kirby.
Yeah.
What does he say there? Antenna check incomplete. Incomplete.
Yeah, incomplete. Antenna check incomplete. I'm coming in.
Right.
He obviously didn't do his job.
That's what I mean. He went out to fix it, didn't he?
Yeah. What's wrong with him?
Lousy hell.
Can't get the staff.
Turn in your things and walk home.
That picture there, where he's got the spacesuits on in the what's it called? Where he's facing, that one. What's it called? That the centrifuge. That's from the promotion photograph, isn't it? Because Bowman is never actually in that area with the spacesuit on.
No, he's not.
That's true.
I've seen that on Bowman or Poole, whichever one it is. But I've seen that photograph with the centrifuge and Bowman standing there on the promotional. But he said, "You should say, what the hell are you doing here with your spacesuit? You're not allowed to do that."
Yeah, what's wrong with you?
You need to leave the suit behind for decontamination.
Not only did you not fix the antenna, but now you're in here with a spacesuit on.
and I'm just in my underwear. What's going on?
What's wrong with you?
That's why the computer was trying. That's why Hal was trying to kill him. You know, that's their version of being fired.
Yeah, you're rubbish, mate. You're out.
Stop wearing your underpants in the control room.
Yeah, you're out now as well. What is wrong with all you humans?
There's a dress code to be
dress
held
code
around here.
Hal says, "What are you doing wearing your underpants in there, Frank?" And he says, "Oh, I'll put my trousers on." He says, "No, take your underpants off."
I can't do that, Dave. You came in from the outside without taking your boots off.
Now, I've got a lot of sympathy for Hal because I lived for a number of years in Champaign, Urbana, and in the book and the movie, or the book rather,
that's right.
That's where Hal was created, and the computer labs there actually celebrated Hal's 25th birthday.
Dr. Chandra.
Yes.
Look at that. It's fantastic, isn't it? What's he saying there? Space traveling will never soften up that jogging nut.
Yeah.
Great dialogue.
I can hear it saying it in Kirby's voice.
Yeah.
Looks like Poole has a question. That's good because I have a few of my own.
What was the thing at the time, or a little before this? I really couldn't take Jack Kirby's dialogue. And I'm like, oh, why are they letting him write his own stuff? Oh, dear God in heaven. And then I heard Kirby or read Kirby in an interview.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, that's how he talks. Okay, I get it now. I could practically hear the quotation marks around the words he wanted to emphasize.
I think we were sort of indoctrinated with stand speak, weren't we?
Yeah. His pseudo Shakespearean stuff, and then going right back down to the streets of Brooklyn.
Doth mother know you are wearing her blinds?
Was he getting angry with him for? Because he's got his helmet on.
Yep.
You're supposed to be in your underwear like me.
Yeah.
Tracking up all over my night's clean floor.
It's like standing there with his hands on his hips. Like, I know we're alone in here together, but this just is not going to happen.
Yeah, I know we're out here for 4 years. Yeah, see when he's taking his helmet off in that second panel. That's Reed Richards, isn't it?
It is.
That's true.
Yep. So much.
Yeah, with Jack's hair.
Yeah.
Look at that.
That's a great shot.
Yeah, that's lovely, isn't it?
That is. I think I like it better than most of the humans on these pages.
It's got some funky computer equipment going on as well.
Yeah.
And I like the labels on the machinery in the upper left, kind of like that, like Batman, where everything's labeled.
Yeah.
The little screen running right here.
Cardi activity.
Yeah. Cardi activity. Bat brain check.
The only thing I don't like about that kind of stuff is the way that it's written in the same style as the word balloons. It should be a different.
Yeah.
Mike Royer used to do that as well. It didn't work for me when he put Armageddon on and all that. Mm-hmm. It was written in his style that they should have changed.
Isn't it funny how? Because like the idea that they're imagining this incredible technology, and it is incredible technology.
Yeah,
they're imagining it, and yet they're also imagining that the screens that have all the information on don't have the power to make their own titles.
Yeah.
They actually have to put it on with a sticky or with one of those things that you used to put prices on in the supermarket, one of those guns. It's like, there you go, I'll stick that there. That's the brain check. That's the cardiac activity. There's the sperm checker. So it's like it's just I know they could never, because it's out of time, they could never have foreseen that. It's not something that you have, but it is weird to think about the way that you perceive technology, and how it's changed over the years.
That old plastic lettering system where they push the letters out.
Dymo labelers.
Yeah,
the Dymo.
yeah.
I see like Dave going through the whole spaceship, going, okay, C, dial, 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 A, dial, 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 F. Oh, damn it! And start all over. Click, cut it off.
And then sticking it down everywhere. You've got like labels all around the spaceship.
He'd throw it away and just get a pen, wouldn't he? Like he's done there.
Yeah. So one half of the spaceship, you've got one of these plastic, and by the time he's got to the other end, it's just sticky labels. Literally, just he's taken a post-it note or something and written on it. Sod that. Ah. The reflection in Hal's eye. That's straight. That again, he's been studying the scenery, the film there with the three spaceships, the three.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's got like a fisheye feel to it, isn't it?
It has, yeah.
It's because of the curve here.
And is that? No, I don't know whether that's through Hal's view.
I'm sure that's the camera angle that Kubrick used.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It looks very, very familiar. Yeah,
he's probably looking at a still there.
Yeah.
And it just hit me. You know who would have been the perfect inker for this book? Wally Wood.
Yeah.
Get Jack's pseudo machinery up against Wally Wood's pseudo machinery. Oh my God.
I've got a couple of magazines collecting the Sky Masters comics.
Oh, those were exquisite.
Go through one of these days. That Kirby did roughs on, and Wood went through and did full finishes on. Just beautiful stuff.
Oh yeah.
DK has just a lot of that Sky Masters as well, doesn't it? Some of his best work, I thought. I was never really completely happy with DK's, but when I saw that Sky Masters stuff, I thought this is pretty good. This not as good as the Wood, but it's pretty good.
Well, all of these guys are working on deadline. When you're doing Marvel stuff, you get a chance to do a strip. You can take a little bit more time with it.
Yeah.
You know, or you're doing something that you love. There was I keep saying there's a Strange Adventures, I think, magazine that was out. The first issue's got a beautiful Herb Trimpe story in it that I had to look at the credits in order to realize it was him because it was such a completely different style, all detailed up. World War I biplanes flying.
Oh, yeah.
It was just absolutely gorgeous strip. I went, who did it? Holy crap. Herb Trimpe. Unbelievable. But a completely different look. It's like Coletta doing romance stuff. Just totally different style, almost the same look.
Yeah.
You know, some of it's as scratchy as his Marvel work, but not a lot of it.
Come on.
There again.
No. We've all gone quiet again.
Yeah, I know. There's a dead air.
All there was just the ticking of a clock and people drooling.
Yeah. There's just so much to study here.
It is.
Yeah.
You know, beautiful layout, and still I'm stuck on the coloring. I mean, I'm looking again at that red panel on the left-hand page.
Mm-hmm.
You know, which is again right out of the film.
Right.
Yeah, and the way that his little boxes on the front and back of his suit are red as well.
Yeah,
make it all come out on them.
Oh yeah, that kind of detail could have gotten lost.
Do you know what I think would be a really big mistake if they reprinted this on lovely glossy paper?
Oh yeah, yep.
Oh,
you're 100% right.
I think it would absolutely destroy it, and this is why it's so fantastic.
Well, fortunately or unfortunately, I sincerely doubt they'll be reprinting this again.
Yeah,
they have to go after additional rights.
Yeah,
or just wait 100 years until it goes public domain.
Yeah,
I'll let you know how it goes, guys. Oh my God, another collage page. I'm in heaven.
Jupiter.
Yeah.
Oh,
just a little bit of color on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's bonkers.
Imagine what it would have been if they'd have made it today, made 2001 today. In the book, they go to Saturn. They go past Jupiter and go to Saturn. But the reason they didn't do that in the film was because Dykstra and what was the other guy called? Trumbull couldn't get the rings to look right on Saturn, so they just pulled it back 500 million miles to Jupiter instead.
It was a technical issue.
Yes.
So what was the planet that they weren't supposed to? Do you know 2010?
Europa.
Yeah. So in Saturn, what was it?
What do you mean?
Probably Titan.
Was it Titan?
Yeah, I think it is.
Probably would have been.
Because
Yeah.
it would make more sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Because Europa is a comparatively recent discovery, that the fact that they think that there's an ice ocean, there's an ocean of water under it.
Yeah.
After Voyager was when they started thinking these things, wasn't it?
Right.
And that was like late 80s that Voyager got to Jupiter. So the fact, but 2010, I can't remember when 2010 was made. It was probably 2010. I think it was sooner than that, wasn't it?
It was made much sooner than that.
Yeah.
Earlier than that.
Somewhere in the 90s, I think.
Yeah,
95.
What's his name? Schneider, is it?
Yeah, Roy Schneider.
Yeah.
Right.
Schneider, yeah, George.
Roy Schneider. Roy Schneider likes Roy Schneider.
He's going to China.
Roy Schneider.
Well, you've also got to realize that, at the time that Kubrick was doing the filming, he was also setting up the staging of the moon landing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he was doing it in the same studio.
His attention was divided. So come to the comics at night. Your source for fake news.
Fake news, yeah. Oh dear. Roy Schneider.
I'm still thinking
Roy Schneider. This is a film from Roy Schneider by Roy Schneider. Roy Schneider does whatever Roy Schneider wants to do.
2010 was out in 1984.
Of course it was.
That was longer back than I thought. Right.
Yeah.
She
still holds up good though.
She's in it, isn't she? I can't never remember her name. What's she called? The English actress.
Oh, that narrows it down.
Yeah.
A Russian woman.
Helen Mirren, that's it.
Oh, she was she Russian? Russian? Did she have potato?
She was Russian, yeah.
I like potatoes.
Shit. In China.
God.
How are you guys tapping into the voices in my head?
You respect my authority.
Oh, now we're filling in that dead air.
Going
and again,
Jack Kirby's art sent me crazy.
Deep concentration. Eyes right up at the top of the helmet line there. You can tell he means business.
Fantastic. Look at that.
Also fantastic in its simplicity. You look at it here, and it's just.
Oh yeah.
This is probably this. I don't know if this would be actual size or not, but probably pretty close.
Not far off. Yeah.
Probably about 15% bigger. Not a lot. Maybe 20 at most. Yeah, just such a simple look, but so great.
Could you imagine having any of those pages on your wall? Oh.
Yeah.
I think Russ needs a cigarette.
Yeah,
I've already had a cigarette, mate.
Okay. Okay, good.
I finished quite some time ago.
There's a massive mistake there, isn't there? You're coming through from the pod, and he's got his helmet on. That was the whole point of that sequence. He didn't have a helmet.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That was because that's what he said. He said, "Are you going to get in without your helmet?" And because there's a bit where he's talking to him when he says, "Open the door," and he's getting really angry, and he calms down, and then it cuts when he says, "How are you going to do that, Dave, without your helmet?" And it cuts to the pod bay door, the pod bay, and you can see his helmet on the stand. You can see all the other suits with the helmets on.
Oh yeah,
and there's just a helmet there, his red helmet.
Yeah.
So that's a bit of a gaff, that with the helmet on.
Buggy.
Yeah. Do you know how they did that sequence of Keir Dullea coming into the pod?
No.
That camera was pointing up. They dropped him down on a big rubber band. That's why he shoots back and nearly cracks his head on the door. If you watch it,
wow.
Okay.
Yeah. So he had to drop about 20 feet through the door towards the camera, and then it pulled him back.
The innovation on the way that he made things.
Because the thing is, you see, Kubrick's got this reputation of doing 650 takes.
Yeah.
Keir Dullea said, "I'm not doing that again.
I'm not doing that again. That's it. You got what you got."
So Kubrick said, "Just do it once more." So he did it twice.
Wow.
He said, "I'm not doing that again," and he said, "Okay."
Yeah.
Fair enough.
He was the only person who told Kubrick he wasn't going to do another take.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic piece though, that page, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Real Kirby. Look at that hand. Real
Just
Kirby.
Symmetry there.
Yeah. It's fabulous, isn't it?
And balance. The balance of that figure.
Yeah. Wonderful balance.
Which is something I think a lot of the Kirby imitators don't get.
Yeah.
That's why I think. Sorry to interrupt you.
No.
I think you're absolutely right. What I was saying earlier about you can spot someone who's imitating Kirby easier than any other is because so many artists, when they do imitate him, focus on the line work.
Right.
Exactly. They don't focus on the balance and the composition that Kirby, and that's why Kirby was so great. He had his own pencil style and his own way to produce the line work.
Yeah.
But it was his composition that was really key, and people look past that, I think.
Yeah, and the energy in it as well.
Yeah, and the energy.
Because he's not the best. He's not the best artist, is he?
Well, this style is not. It certainly isn't any. It certainly isn't realistic, is it? I mean, he's leaned heavily into the energy and the stylistic aspect of what he does, but he makes up for that so much with composition and energy, exactly as you're saying.
So much of his work is dynamic composition. Is really what helped the superhero genre become what it is. That's why you're seeing pages like this. He's at a point. He's been doing this for so many decades that the dynamics of it are really second nature to him.
Yeah,
he's able just to kick this out, like it was nothing.
That's why it's a little disappointing to see, sometimes, where we actually any of the major companies like go for house styles.
Yeah,
because it
very much so.
It's like it's great to have. There's a few artists out there that are fabulous to the point of not photorealism, but quite a realistic style. You can't, when you look at styles, like you look at Buscema's style, for instance, and people would say, well, that's a realistic style. And it's like, yes, it is, but he knew how to stretch and push.
Right.
And he had the same quality that Kirby has got. And that is that his style sang through. Okay. He would cheat with his style and it would work. And it was a way of telling a story and getting the message across, which was more important than the art.
Yeah.
And it just so happened that he was a fantastic artist underneath it. Okay, underneath all that.
Right.
And a lot of artists miss that. So they create beautiful art, all right, but maybe their style is just about the beautiful art, as against the stretching and the pushing of the boundaries. And that's why something say it's as simple. If you look at this style that Kirby had, and you look at it compared to, I don't know, somebody like Buscema and maybe like the Alcala work, and Conan, and you think, oh God, how can you compare the two? They're completely different. Well, the point being is that both were pushing story and stretching the rules where they needed to in order to create a great story, and that's why they're so good.
I said this about the covers and the artwork, interior artwork now, is that I don't like it because when you look at a cover, it's beautifully drawn, but it doesn't really do anything because each individual person on the cover generally is their own pin-up.
I think there's a lot of that, and again, that's not to take away from the fabulous artists that are drawing.
Yeah,
it's just I think personally, I think a lot of that is from high up as well. It comes from down from execs and from editors, and it's you haven't got that freedom that you used to have, and it's creating a stale environment, I'm afraid. So,
Marvy in the house, greetings, sinners. I came here to wish you all a great weekend. Going back to work. Take care,
Bye.
Marvy. Hope you're doing well.
Hey, Marv.
But that's why the indie market is so important at any point in time, not just now, but at any point. You know, back in the 70s and 80s and what have you, both Marvel and DC, the big dogs as it were, they were generating so much energy, and they were creative. The creativity was just flowing out of them. And like I say, this is not to be detrimental. This is not
then image comes out and everybody grabs their circle templates. And
exactly, it's not to be detrimental to the artists of today. It's just that I don't see the variation like I used to. Whereas in the indie market, you get huge variation.
Yep, now you do.
Yeah.
Well, and I've gone on a rant on my show about covers anymore. That you see the old Kirby stuff, and it made you want to buy the book.
Yeah.
You wondered, why is this happening? I need to buy this book. And I don't ask. I just buy it.
I think somewhere along the way, people forgot there were comic books. There were stories.
Yeah, and I think they also forgot the fact that cover is your first page of advertising. There's nothing in. I'd say 95% of the comics on the stands, and I'll include indie comics in this too, that make me want to pick up that book.
Yeah.
I pick up Action Comics like 1050 because I have issue 1049.
Yeah. It's like there's lots of beautiful art on the front of comic books these days. Lots of beautiful work, fantastic work. But it doesn't look like it's almost like a lot of the work on the front covers starts to look like novels.
Right.
Rather than a comic book cover.
One of the hazards of the current collector's market. They're making them to be slabbed.
Yeah.
Especially the variant covers. They're just there to look pretty. Nobody cares about the interior.
But they're never going to be anywhere near as valuable as the old comics. They're never, because the whole point was the old comics were pulp. Therefore, they weren't treated well. They weren't collected. Rarity creates value. Not telling people, well, that's got some value on it. No, that doesn't create value. Trying to convince people by telling it's valuable doesn't make value. It's a bit like stories saying this is the greatest superhero ever. Well, that doesn't mean that they are the greatest superhero ever. They got to earn it. You got to earn it in the story. Okay, you got to earn it in the value of a book. And just getting the latest book and going, oh wow, there's only a few of these, and I'll slab it. It's like it doesn't make it value.
Yeah.
The value of it was that it was made, and the chances of it getting to you after 50 years is very small.
Right.
Good point.
Good.
I think part of the value is the fact that they're good as well.
There is that aspect. Why did they put that black bar on his bum?
That's the back of his backpack.
I know.
It was covering something up. It's like those old porno movies.
That's what it looks like.
Are there some nipples on that suit?
There must be.
if there are, they're in a funny place.
It's a little high for the anus on that. Yeah.
Well, I think they just look like a nipple. They don't have to be a nipple.
That's a good point.
This is American comics we're talking about.
It's got a box on the back.
World War III is fine, but for God's sake, don't show a nipple.
Exactly.
That's right.
That was before Batman made it sexy.
Batwang.
Yeah, Batwang.
Schumacher. Yeah. Another just great dynamics here.
Yeah, look at the energy in that.
Yeah. Just a lot working.
Again, the pacing on these 2 pages, and that's one thing I think Kirby was a great choice for this, for putting energy into what is really the original movie was visually arresting, but you can't exactly say it was a pulse pounder.
No, it was slow. Well, it was on purpose, but to then convert that to comics, that's tough.
I would go ahead, Glenn.
He's changed the story, hasn't he? The centrifuge in this stops and the gravity goes, and that's not what happens in the film.
Yeah.
Well, you might have thought I've got 3 pages left over. I know what to do.
But I think what he's done is what Randy just said, that he's changed the pace.
Yeah.
It's slow.
Yeah, in the film, he floats into the computer room, doesn't he?
He does, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's very quiet. You know?
Yeah, and it's very sort of
a lot more drama and tension working here.
Yeah.
But when it comes to this adaptation, I would imagine, I'm not sure about the story, but I would imagine Kirby requested this. He said, "Hey, if we're doing movie adaptations, I want to do this."
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Well, can you imagine what Kirby would have done if they had been offered, say, a James Bond film to draw? Something that already has intrinsic energy in it.
Well, he did that with The Prisoner, didn't he?
I was just going to say that.
That's true. That's true.
And that was never really professionally printed.
And that's a shame, because the pages I've seen are great.
He didn't finish it, did he? He got pulled, didn't he? I mean, Gil Kane did the first adaptation of it. Yeah. But when he gave the pages in, Stan Lee didn't like it, and they offered it to Kirby, and then I think I don't know what happened, but it was never finished. I think he did 16 pages, and only half of those were inked, and then another few were lettered.
And they just canned it.
Yeah, they just pulled it for some reason.
That would have made a great series too, considering Kirby's style against the aesthetics of the property.
Yeah.
Plus a lot of his anti-establishment thoughts too. I mean, Kirby was a great choice for that. I liked his version better than that aborted Steve Englehart one.
Yeah.
Who I think was with Kane.
That's a bit poor there. On that. Sorry, Randy. Can you just go back on the last panel? Is where Hal says, "Hey, David, I've got 10 years of service." He wouldn't say that. That's saying I want a raise because I've been here for 15 years.
Yeah.
Why would he go, "Hey, Dave"?
Yeah.
He just go, "Dave."
Yeah.
Dave.
Yep.
We'll forget
my wife now, Dave.
I'm the senior employer around here, Dave.
Yeah. Come on.
Interstellar, right there.
Yeah.
That's
right
lovely.
there. That's Interstellar. Somebody saw this book. No doubt. Let's look at that. And amazingly simple too. I mean, it's very complex. Don't get me wrong, but lines.
By the way, they've made it shapes. They've made it so vast as well, because it was quite a claustrophobic sort of tube, sort of square tube or whatever, and he was taking the circuitry in and out, wasn't he?
He had like a screwdriver, didn't he?
Yeah.
Sort of float halfway out. No, they don't come out like him.
Whereas this is like, look at him hanging on in that bottom left-hand panel there.
Yeah,
it's like he's hanging onto a ravine or something.
Yeah.
Well,
I also like that sixth panel on the left-hand page. I'm hearing Hal from the movie. No, Dave, please. Instead of this, pleading for its artificial life. And
don't do this, Dave.
Don't do this, Dave. But no, I'm also looking at that right-hand panel, and maybe it's me, maybe it's my eyes, but is Dave a different shade of red than the walls around him?
No,
is that just me then?
It's probably just the line work playing with your eyes. Yeah,
speck of white here, but it's all the same block color. Yeah.
Okay, I'm laying off the gin early in the morning.
They did break it up a little bit though, with a few little white spaces.
Yeah.
What Kirby's doing here as well, the reason, we'll understand, is that Hal is explaining to you what was going on, where the film doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he says there at the bottom left, he says the crew was challenging its orders. Well, they weren't, but they were challenging him. He was having trouble he was having trouble knowing the secret, wasn't he, Hal? That's what went wrong. Mm-hmm. But here Kirby's telling you, because the film doesn't. You have to work it out, which is the same thing with any Kubrick film. The Kubrick film, you've got to watch it. You can't turn away. You have to watch it.
Yeah.
And that's why he's one of the best, I think, because of his storytelling. He makes you watch the film. And he has a lot of silence in his films, as we know, and a lot of people don't like that. They can't cope with having silence. I don't know why. But I think it's engaging. It makes me watch it. Mm-hmm. And you get all these dumbos go and get another burger and bloody popcorn and crap like that while they're watching the film, Stay at home. Don't disturb me. Sorry about
Those are my people, Glenn.
that. Well,
that's why you don't go to theaters very much
Yeah,
anymore.
no.
Right.
that's
Why
why
would anybody bother? You can have massive
Yeah.
televisions at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last film I saw at the cinema was Watchmen.
Yeah.
Blimey.
What's that?
The last film-
2008.
That was just a duck at the swinging wang. Watchmen 3D duck. Oh,
That's going to put out somebody's eye.
Last film I saw was at the cinema was probably Endgame.
Mine was Wonder Woman.
Oh, what, the first one?
The first one, yes.
we went to see Spider-Man No Way Home.
Oh God, you're a regular. You're
That's
down
the
the cinema all the
last time we
time.
went.
Compared to
No,
us.
it was a
Compared to
huge.
us.
It was a huge change too, because I did it after I woke up,
Yeah.
so I got to sit in the front. But they had assigned seatings when you came to buy your ticket, and they had gone through and completely refashioned the theater during the bug to add bigger, plusher seats.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
To justify their higher ticket prices, probably. But yeah, that's the last movie I saw at the theater. Everything else has all been it's streamed so close to their release date anymore. By the time you get around to actually wanting to go to the theater to see it, it's on a streaming service.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they're managing to cock it all up, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well,
And they wonder why they're not making the money they used to.
Well, if they would stop doing longer films with no intermissions and have some mercy on my poor elderly bladder.
Well, that's the other thing as well. Every film seems to be so bloody long now.
Yeah.
You have to watch it in 2 halves anyway. You might as well watch it at home and be comfortable.
Yeah.
Or you can pause it and.
Well, speaking of intermissions, when I went to see this film for the first time back in 1969, I used to play football with these kids. Anyway, this kid turned up and he was I was 14 and he was 9, and he wanted to play football. And I said, no, I'm going to the pictures, to the cinema. And my dad said, take him with you. And I thought, see 2001. So we get to 2001, we're watching it, and you know when the intermission comes on, he said, this kid is 9. He says to me, I've got to go home. And I said, what? He said, I've got to go home. I've got to be home for 9 o'clock. So I'd take him home. So I threatened him with death the next day. If he come, I'm not playing football tomorrow. I have to go and see this film again because I only saw half of it. And this is why I was saying to people, I've seen it 100.5 times. There you go. I read the book. I'd seen the interviews. I waited a year for this film to be released, and I only saw the first half up to the intermission. I'd take this kid home. I was threatening him and kicking him all the way back home.
Well, I remember seeing the film, and I was very, very young. I'm not even sure. I was barely a teenager, and I remember my very non-artistic father was complaining all the way home. Oh, what the hell does that mean? What are those apes doing? Blah, 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 blah. And there was some stuff that confused me. But fortunately, I'd become an Arthur C. Clarke fan by that time, so I read the book, and I wound up explaining. Here's a 12-year-old kid explaining 2001 to his 30-year-old parents. Yeah, there's just something surreal about that.
And also, when this kid's I'm in the cinema with this kid watching this film, then Gross, and he's not watching it. And the bit where they go to where we saw earlier, where they're in front of the monolith, and that beam, the noise comes out when they're all on the moon.
Yes.
And after that noise, it went quiet, and all the cinema was quiet, and this kid who I was with chirps up with really loud, are they all dead now? And I said, shut up and sit down.
Oh, that's funny.
A couple more great pages here.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit of mother box action working there.
Yeah.
And, I'm looking again, left-hand page, second panel. Look at those eyes.
Yeah.
Look how expressive they are.
Oh, yeah. It's great. Another great proportion there.
Oh,
Look at that there. It says, the voice of the universe whispers to Dave Bowman, you are alone, it says. Wow, that's very powerful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
You are alone, except for me. I'm the voice in your head now, Dave.
Yeah.
Lightsaber hanging here in space.
Yeah.
Is that a uniweapon?
There we go.
What do you mean I'm a page short? No, just kidding. Just kidding.
Look at those eyes again where he wakes up there. Look.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. What beautiful staging.
It's the start of the trippy part of the movie.
Yeah.
And
Great
there's
eye, though.
the great red spot mimicking the eye.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to get weird now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Woohoo!
There we
Its
go.
own part. Yep.
And what seemed like took half an hour in the movie of the light show, Kirby does in one page.
Yeah.
Birth of a new one.
And those great quotation marks.
2 great pages again. Yeah. It's a dot and the Jupiter.
Yep. Great red spot.
Not so great anymore. Shrinking all the time.
It's a big storm, isn't it? It's about 3 times the size of the Earth, isn't it? That red spot. Amazing.
Yeah.
And Saturn's got one as well.
Yeah.
Similar one.
And an octagonal ass. So.
Yeah.
It's getting. Is it me or is Bowman getting more muscular when he's?
Yeah, it seems that way.
His suit's getting tighter and tighter.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this.
Lamb. No sound effect needed there.
Ooh.
God, yeah. The whole light show is like these last few pages.
Yeah.
And in a way, I like this better.
Yeah.
Because you see something happening.
Mm-hmm.
And look at that look of terror. Those 2 panels of terror on
top right-hand panel.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
He does that in the film, doesn't he? Sort of turns to the side, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And then that bottom panel where everything's sort of just seen through his visor, but the whole thing is bonkers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's reversed as well.
Yeah.
No.
That's like an apocalypse type of
very much so. Yeah.
scenery, isn't it?
Yep. Straight out of New Gods.
Yeah.
Could put Metron floating by here at any time.
Metron instead of the pod.
Yeah.
Armageddon and all that stuff.
Just amazing.
I like a bit of
stare at
gatto.
that for a few minutes.
Chocolate gatto, yeah.
Armageddon.
Armageddon.
Armageddon, you're a ghetto, aren't we?
Amaretto. What?
Yeah.
Yeah. Almond ghetto. Yeah.
Nuts.
Look at that.
See the ads for Jeremy's chocolate? I know this is off topic, but it's doing a counter for Hershey's chocolate. Okay. One version of the bar is him, he, him. The other one it says, and if I have to tell you which one it has nuts and which one doesn't, go back and keep buying Hershey's. It's a great commercial.
That's good.
Sorry, off topic. Here we go, but I digress. Boom.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
A little pod down here. Now, is that reality coming forward? How does he explain that? I got to put my other glasses on.
He tells you there in the text, it says each site becomes more outrageous than the other. He's right about that.
Yeah. Oh. Crazy.
There's that dead air again.
Yes, it is. Sitting in awe.
Yes.
Whoop.
And then that.
There's the consciousness flowing right there. Now we're in the white room. pretty much devoid of color.
Yeah, clever, isn't it?
Again, great. In this case, lack of color choices.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just the pace between that page and the 2 pages,
Yeah.
Jerks like that in the movie too. You get that stark color and then
boom.
I saw an interview with Kubrick, and he was talking about this sequence where he's in this bedroom. And it's like an old French type of thing, isn't it? Mm-hmm. And he said, the guy said to him that it's not correct. The visual, the furniture isn't correct for what it's supposed to be. And Kubrick's brilliant, and he said, no, you're misunderstanding. This is the alien intelligence is portraying what Bowman is thinking to make him feel easy.
Yeah. Well, that seems obvious.
And that is how Bowman remembers it.
Yeah.
And his memory is wrong. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah. This is speaking to perception.
Yeah.
This is speaking to quantum physics and the suggestion that observation somehow creates reality. It's like it's all embedded in this stuff.
Yeah, because there's great regarding that. There's a great piece in Solaris with Clooney when he says his biggest fear was that he remembered Rhea wrong. He remembered her wrong.
Yeah,
and that's why she when she comes back and all that kind of thing. I think that's brilliant because you're not, like we say, you're not going to remember. You don't remember everything.
No,
right.
No.
Right.
And we all embellish a story and we all change a bit and all that kind of thing.
Yep. Yeah.
So again, Kubrick's on it, isn't he? He creates that French Georgian whatever it is room, and it's not correct. And but the interesting thing is that somebody points out that it's not correct because they know it's not correct.
Well, of course, it's not correct.
But Kubrick knew it wasn't correct. It wasn't supposed to. I think it's wonderful.
It's made out of memory, and memory is imperfect.
Yeah.
And then here we've gone from Reed Richards to Steve Rogers.
There you go.
I can do this all day.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you will be doing it all day for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. He's taken a linear approach to this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he's basically created a story around his time growing old within the alien observation room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Whereas in the film, he saw himself immediately.
Yes.
He said it was almost like time. He was like there was a time loop of some sort, and he could see himself as an old man. And then suddenly you were there with him as the old man.
Yeah. And he, obviously, in the film, he's eating his dinner and he spills the glass, doesn't he? Then he looks up and he's in the bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or breaks the glass, I should say.
But that's a suggestion. I mean, from the film's perspective, it's a suggestion that time is an illusion.
Yes. It's just the same time all the time.
Yeah.
I've got to watch this again.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Enter the monolith.
Yeah.
Yeah. Radio silence.
Yes.
Yeah.
A celestial softness envelops his still form in a capsule of light. Wow. What's that say there? If the genes of an ape could herald the coming of man, then one sort of strange may spring from the genes of man.
This bonkers.
Wow.
This. Ah.
To be able to verbalize this, though.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is the thing.
And to do a little bit of philosophy in there too.
Yeah.
Oh, there was, but I think there was a lot more philosophy in the comics of that age. Like sort of 60s, 70s, early 80s.
Yeah.
There was quite, obviously not every comic. Like the Defenders, people were just battering the hell out of each other. But there was a good percentage of comics that, even though the story was still energetic and entertaining, there was a little bit of philosophy chucked in there as well.
Yeah.
That's what makes the fourth world stuff timeless.
Except, well, yeah, especially
Yeah.
like Kirby stuff, but also
Yeah.
some of the Stalin stuff as well.
Oh
A
yeah.
lot of the Marvel cosmic stuff, you know.
Mhm.
I think you have to bear in mind as well that this was produced only 8 years after the release of the film.
Yeah.
True.
So,
But also during this period, you've got Gerber running and on all cylinders. Don McGregor is doing Kill Raven and Black Panther at this point. And just kicking some really great material out.
There we go.
There's a Bubba.
Right out of the film.
That's
There's
nice.
two things in the book, in the film, that people missed by not reading the book. And one is that, you know, when the Moonwalker Moonwatcher throws the bone up in the beginning, when he he finds the weapon and he throws it in the air, then it turns into a spaceship. Well, it's not a spaceship; it's an orbital bomb. And at the end of the book, when the Star Child he goes back to Earth, he appears on Earth, looking down on Earth, and in the book it says he could see all the orbiting death or something he calls it. Like he could see the orbiting death, and he knew that with a thought he could detonate them, but he didn't know whether he would or not. So he comes back, and potentially he's going to destroy the Earth in the book.
Mm-hmm.
So it's wonderful.
2001, a retrospective by David Anthony Kraft. There we go. Some scenes from the movie, just to fill out the page count.
Oh, that's weird. Like looking at that ship there on the top left.
Yeah.
You can see just hints of Space 1999 about it.
Oh,
yeah, you're right.
More than hints, I'd say. Yeah.
So yeah.
Very much so.
That's interesting. Now on that previous page, it said that I knew this anyway, but I'll point it out. That it says down that on the text, it says that the film costs $10.5 million. The film.
Yeah,
Brad
you couldn't
Pitt,
even get half the actors now for $10 million.
Brad Pitt would want twice that, wouldn't he, to be in it now?
Just to turn up. Yeah. No wonder we got a problem. Mind you, how much was $10 million in 1969? Yeah.
It's probably 100 million like they are now.
Yeah. Touches of red overlaid onto the photo.
There's that scene where they were getting in the pod.
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah, you can see it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right the way down to the curved floor.
Got a bit of a fisheye look to it.
It's got a fisheye on it. Yeah.
I wonder if it's a coincidence.
Scene number from the movie. Written on the still. Yeah.
I wonder if it's a coincidence that the actors look the same, don't they? They're both good-looking men, but they've got the same sort of got the same haircut, same height, same build.
Yeah. It's probably intentional on Kubrick's
and
part.
also, Dulé wore a wig, in it. If you watch it, he wore a wig, and that was because of his hair growing. They kept cutting his hair for continuity, so he actually wears a wig.
Oh, okay, makes sense.
Yeah, I can't imagine that there is one single minute millimeter of this film where Kubrick didn't make it a particular way.
Yeah.
Are those the mats?
Yes, they look like it, don't they?
Yeah.
Or is it the way they've been coloured? But they do look like it, yeah.
I think it's just the way it's been colored. Because the mat on this would have been different.
Yeah,
they'd have blocked all of this out.
Yeah, it would have been just it would have just been the cutout.
Yeah,
the guys, the moving parts. Yeah.
What's interesting though, if you watch the film carefully, when that little space pod there going over the moon surface on the left, taking the guys, and when it's going to the moon, they never actually. That little flying machine there never actually goes over that horizon in terms of dropping out of space. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Always in that matte shot.
Yeah.
It never encroaches. It never encroaches on the bottom part of it.
That's clever.
If you watch it, you'll just see it just keeps the same track all the time.
Makes sense.
There he is. Wow.
Kirby, one man's odyssey.
It certainly is.
That's great. That's really good touch. That they've got the production team and actors listed in the book there.
Frank Miller's in it. Wow.
Different Miller.
No, it can't be. There's only one Frank Miller.
It must have been about 9 when this was made.
Mission controller.
Mission controller.
And then there's also the sort of a bit cheeky story, isn't there, about Kubrick and Clark were writing the book and making the film at the same time. Well, Kubrick would direct Clark as to a scene that he wanted him to write, but he wouldn't film it. He would change it. And Clark was busy tapping away on his typewriter and sending these pages in, and Kubrick was getting them, and they were basically what he asked for, but not what he was going to shoot. So it's not quite the same, because he wanted to. It was his film.
And you ask yourself, could I work under those conditions? And all I can think of is slowly I turned step by step, inch by inch.
I'd work with Kubrick and do whatever he said.
There's some people like that. You'd just capitulate, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Well, there's that interview. There's a great interview on YouTube with Keir Dullea and Gary Lockwood. Much in like about 2005 or something, talking about it. And Keir Dullea said he never had a problem with Stanley Kubrick at all. He got on with him really, really well. And he said, but he could see around him that some people weren't happy, that he'd rough them up the wrong way or rub them up the wrong way. But he never did that. He always had a great respect for him, and he liked working with him.
Well, you know what it's like. A lot of these creative types, they get a little bit.
Yeah. But it's pretty good, isn't it?
I meant all the others. It's like,
yeah.
It's also an appreciation,
don't they?
It's also an appreciation and understanding of the craft and how it works.
Yeah.
Well, so you've got two things going on. You've got to understand the craft and how it works, and you've got to understand Kubrick and how he works.
That's true. And
but by then, he'd already proven himself to be a genius, so just do what he tells you, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Also, he probably was an actor's director.
Yeah.
So he'd be probably more inclined to be nicer to the actors than he would be the, say the technical people.
Yeah.
I've seen that type before. So
that's
pretty. That's pretty.
That's interesting. That's inked by Dan Atkins. It says it there on the side, Kirby and Atkins.
Ooh, yeah.
Whereas Giacoya does the interior.
I don't know.
Interesting.
Where'd you see the signature?
In the middle, near the spine, near the astronaut's hand.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Yep. Very observant.
Very good. And I wonder who did that moonscape on the inside back cover. That did not look like Kirby.
No, I don't think that was Kirby at all.
No. But there's just not enough there for me to be able to say, "Oh yeah, that's Romita."
Oh,
those lines across the planet look a bit Starling.
And I was thinking, well, Starlin was doing was he doing production work?
Was he doing any sort of backup work then, like just starting?
I know he worked in the bullpen for a while before he was like doing Iron Man or anything. He's doing cover layouts and things like that. I'd have to. I don't know.
Well, how old would he be? How old would he be in 1976? Starlin, would he be about 30?
Oh no, I think he'd be younger than that. But still, I'm going to look that up.
I don't know. It's just the lines across the worlds.
Yeah.
But that's quite reminded me of Ditko in a way.
Yes,
which is a huge influence on Starlin.
I was just looking at the inking here on the moon. It kind of looks like Gene Colan.
Yeah.
Or Val Mayrick, maybe.
Yeah.
On this.
I don't think we're ever going to get an answer to this one because it's an anonymous bullpen piece, isn't it?
Hold on, I'm looking. This is what passes for research here.
There is no credit on the front. Who did the back piece, though?
Does anybody know Jim Starlin's phone number?
Not right offhand, no.
Just phone him up. Did you do this, Jim? It's like, do you know how many pieces of artwork I've done?
Yeah, but you'd remember this one, wouldn't you?
Probably would. Yeah. It's a little Tom Palmer,
Still
maybe.
looking.
But that might be no. That's about he's working then. Yeah.
Oh,
This has got a specific feel to it.
Yeah, it's like a
The moon does.
50s type of wood.
Yeah.
moon, that.
Yeah.
okay. I am looking at the Grand Comics database,
Right.
and it says that it is it is credited with a question mark to Maurice Severin on pencils and Frank Giacoia on inks. But again, they are both.
Oh, that's likely. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but it has a question mark by them. And Jack is credited with the photograph, and the copy is by David Anthony Kraft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Kraft had written the retrospective.
Yeah. Kraft
He did a lot of
that
those
stuff.
text. Yeah.
And he's actually drawing the Eternals there, Jack, isn't he?
Yeah, pretty much.
You'd have thought that I've had a photograph of him drawing this, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
That would be very organized.
I'm going to have to take a closer look at that just to see what it is.
Isn't it the Eternals spacecraft arriving? Which is interesting again, because that means that
No.
What is it?
It's definitely a cosmic piece, but it's not one I recognize right offhand. Here it is up
Right.
close.
Yeah, I'm sure that's Eternals. But whatever it is, if it is Eternals, that means that photograph. It just shows you how far ahead, because Eternals came out in 77. If this came out in 76 and he's already drawing it, you know.
Maybe, I don't know. That'd be hard to say.
Nice.
Again, folks, that was 2001: A Space Odyssey, Marvel Treasury Special, in 1976, 1 year before Star Wars.
Yeah.
Only $1.50. Yeehaw! Love that. Sigh, those were the days.
Yeah.
I'm glad they got Jack to do it, because there's only him could have pulled this one off, I think.
And again, I think Jack made a special request for that, and they just went out and got the rights. I really do think that's the way that worked. So that's something right beyond in his wheelhouse. That'd be something that he'd fight to do. I think.
Oh yeah.
My impression of it, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
Brown Dog says a bunch of icons. Thanks, Brown Dog. Nice to see you here today. Make sure you hit that love button, like button out there. Folks, if you've seen that, if you're watching us in the archives, make sure you leave a comment. If there's somebody else out there you want us to cover in Comics by Night, let us know. And we'll do that.
Because it gives Randy an excuse to buy comics.
That too.
Like he needs it.
I've got a
more comics. Gives me an excuse to buy.
There you go.
I've got a Killing Joke Noir coming next week.
Oh,
that's all right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, gee, it's at the time I gotta go.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the art, not the story.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
I know.
Whew,
beautiful work, but
because it's a Bolland. It's a Bolland great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good point.
There's just something fantastic about the art in that.
So true.
The story's meh. See, while it was an Elseworld story, I was good with it.
Yeah.
To be fair to Alan Moore, he didn't want it to be a special like they produced it. He just put it in the back of a Superman or a Batman comic.
Yeah.
As a backup. So
I think the whole sort of, I think it's all busted out of control. Multiverses and what ifs and Elseworlds. It's all out of control. Bringing it all into central canon is ridiculous. Keep it separate. Everybody could work it out. Do you know what I mean? People can work it out. Even to the cinema perspective, people can work out that a Batman that you might put in a Brave and the Bold, which is supposed to be coming, or in the Justice League, is different from the Batman that we saw, last year. They're two different Batman. They're two different versions of it. In the same way that the Batman trilogy that you saw 10 years ago was different. Mm-hmm. Okay, or the Batman from 1989 was different. Okay, people can work it out. They don't need to be told there's some kind of quantum link between them all. So, and it started off in the comics where they started to bring Elseworld stuff into some kind of canon, and I think that was a bad mistake. But that's just
No,
a
they
personal
stopped
opinion.
caring about canon, is what it was.
Yeah, it's just a personal opinion. So
Levi in the house. I'll have to catch the upload. Missed most of this morning's. I'm sure it was another fun show. Yes, it was. Levi,
it was.
Thanks
Thanks
for being here.
We had fun.
I also made it to Ollie's this week. Thanks. LOL. Loads of great finds. Thanks for the heads up.
I wish we had an Ollie's. I really do.
I haven't been to Ollie's in 2 months, and my wife is like, "No, you're not going."
Yeah,
it's like, it's me or Ollie.
$35 omnibuses, Brian.
I know. I may just risk my marriage and go out anyway.
The trouble is, it sounds like the prices are so low that you'd go in there, and even if there wasn't anything you'd like, you'd probably just pick something.
Like I said, I've walked out with boxes of stuff. You know, this looks interesting. It's only $6. Okay,
I really want that book, but it's only $5.
Yeah, a $25 trade paperback for $3.95. Yeah, what the hell?
Just take it home and take up some shelf space. Why not?
Silver Age Suicide Squad Volume 2.
Ooh,
yeah,
$6.99.
$6.99.
Oh my goodness!
There you go.
Nice. Yep. Well, I still have, and I have it here in my office because I frankly have no place else to put it. I got this month's literally. I mean, look at this thing.
Look at that.
It's the size
I picked up
$7.95.
I picked up the omnibus of all of the Just Imagine stories where they paid Stan Lee to recreate the DC universe.
Yes,
and all of these great artists are inside. We'll probably go through that in a Comics by Night one of these days.
Oh yeah,
$19.99.
Yeah,
$125 retail.
Oh yeah, and I got one of the Sandman annotated volumes for like $20, and that thing's $150.
If that was if I had seen that around here, I'd have picked it up.
I did, yeah. I don't have the other three, but
not even thinking. I got a Camelot 3000 too that we could go through a Camelot 3000 collection.
Yeah.
I think that was hardback too. That's like $7. So, New Yorker Cartoon Encyclopedia 2 volume hardcover set for $20. Yeah. Yep.
I love all these.
Sorry to kill your budget there, Levi, but you'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they got the Golden Age Green Arrow omnibus with all the Jack Kirby stories in it.
Ooh, yeah.
From like the Green Arrow's inception. To $35.
What was it? I think I got for $25. I got the hardcover omnibus of Roger Landridge's Muppet Show.
Oh yeah,
stories.
Yeah.
Oh man, that thing I think I've got the engine in my van weighs less than that book.
Yeah.
But it's gorgeous. It's absolutely
Russ, when we get over there next, it's going to be a separate suitcase, isn't it?
Yeah. Just bring books back.
There you go, Levi.
And then pay the overweight thing, when you're checking in.
Don't try to ship it. It'd be easier for you to carry it. Holy crap anymore.
It's less to get on the plane than it is to have it in the post.
Yeah.
It's okay. Part of the tax return well spent. Yeah, there you go.
I agree.
It'd be safer as well, wouldn't it? Taking it yourself.
Yeah, I can see you guys loading up an airplane with all your stuff from Ollie's, and the plane has to fly like about 12 feet off the ground because that's all higher you go.
Where did all this extra weight came from?
Planes don't fly anyway. Planes don't fly. They just go up in the air and wait for the world to go around.
There you go. All right, thanks again, everybody, for watching. Brian, tell folks how they can find you.
Usually here every Friday morning because I have nowhere else to go. When I can get up, but risingtide.pub will give you everything I do in my publishing, my writing. Also, we do a Thursday night show called Comic Book Spectrum where we talk about comics and cut up a little. Plus, you can sign up for my free insider information email that goes out the first of every month. It all happens at risingtide.pub. And as always, guys, it's been a blast to hang out with you. I'm done.
Empty space.
Yeah, people are looking at me, and this is the just like Kirby. I'm like a
checking
Kirby.
His wall.
I'm a Kirby drawing.
Yeah. Glenn, tell folks how they can find you.
Well, here, like Brian says, on Fridays and on Sundays. And if I can remember to the clocks have gone back, I might be there on Sunday on time. I can't tell you how many times I've kicked myself since I came on the show this morning because, I mean, I think people know I like Kirby, you know. Anyway, you can find me on Amazon, all my work on Amazon, and YouTube, and all the usual suspects, and just put my name in Google, and you'll find me.
There you go. Russ, tell folks how they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me in the pages of Batman Magazine, 4th one out this month, UK and Europe. Also, Only Death Can Save Us. You can pick this up on Amazon or Walmart or Books A Million or whatever. The second book is now. I'm waiting. The boxes of books are turning up today, so that I can get them out to my backers next week.
Nice.
Once they're out to the backers, then this will be re-edited, and this will be going up via New Haven to places like Amazon and Books A Million and what have you. You can find out all about that stuff at russleach.com. You can sign up for my email list to find out about upcoming projects, one of which I have with Randy, which is sword and sorcery based, and you're going to love it. That's a passion project. You can also find me in the pages of Doctor Who magazine. I'm not on the currently it's a different creative team, but I'll be back in there in the summer. And also you can go to sign up at Instagram. Follow me on Instagram. I put up a piece of artwork every day there, but all my connections, all my links, you can find at russleach.com.
There you go. And folks, I've been your host, Randy Zimmerman. You can see me. Actually, you can see me later today, 8 p.m. on the Indie Comics Network, as we do the launch for Mitch Rogers' Boger comic or campaign. Make sure you tune in for that. Then Sunday mornings, I also do a program called Sunday Funnies that we talk about more of the stuff that inspires us and that keeps us in this great business that we're in. The Sunday Funnies, 9 a.m. on Sundays. And we're archived over at the Indie Comics Network. If you'd like, you can find more of my material there at arrowcomics.store, where you can find, such books as Herobot Zero. It's the adventures of a 3-foot-tall giant robot fighting large monsters. Calico of Shard, great fantasy story with artwork by the great C. Michael Lanning. And, anyway. And Paragon. It's a superhero title that I'm especially proud of, with artwork by J.R. Harris, along with a lot of other things. There's a lot on my deck right now, doing a script with Russ. I'm working on lettering The Fool that is currently being colored, and that looks really great. And I'm also working on a Spanish edition of one of my preservers books for the Nature Preserve, as they're adapting it for the Spanish speaking market. So hopefully it'll be out in Mexico sometime soon. It's the Tale of the Monarch, which covers the migration patterns, and it's a lot of fun. If you haven't seen the preserver stuff, I'm gonna find the exact address for that, because they're offering all of those digitally online for free, and I'm especially proud of that work. So also, if you are around in April 14th through the 16th, I will be at the Grand Rapids Comic Con Spring Fling. It won't even be in Grand Rapids. It's at the Kalamazoo Expo Event Center in Kalamazoo, Michigan.
Kalamazoo.
Kalamazoo. Grand Rapids Comic Con in April 14th through the 16th in Kalamazoo at the Kalamazoo Event Center. I will be there also with Jason Moore, as well as a ton of other guests and surprises. It'll be a lot of fun. So
you get such great names in America. Kalamazoo.
Yeah.
We have things like Grimsby.
We're a huge melting pot over here, and they pretty much named all the towns after, I don't know, whatever native name that they wanted, or
bad Scrabble hands.
Yeah. Around here we have a Clio and a Saginaw, and Ypsilanti.
We have villages like Little
Petoskey,
Arthworth.
Pinconning.
It took me 4 days to hitchhike to Saginaw.
There you go. In search of
America,
America,
mate.
Yeah.
No, you gotta be scared and get picked up by some random stranger.
So whereabouts in the country do you have to be 24 hours from Tulsa?
It all depends on if you're walking or not. Yeah. Tulsa's pretty centrally located in Oklahoma, so either of the coasts, depending upon how fast you travel.
Yeah, we see. What, you're never more than like 50 miles away or 100 miles away from the coast in the UK, are you?
That's right.
You can't get. I think it's 50 miles, something like that. You can't get any close. You can't get any further away from the coast than like 75 miles. We have no idea what landlocked means.
Here in Michigan, I'm less than an hour away from coastline.
Yeah,
where you can't see the other shore because of the Great Lakes. It's just amazing up here.
Yeah, but that's a lake. That doesn't count. That's just a lake.
It does count. Once you see it, you'll know it does count.
It counts all right.
Oh, it counts a lot.
It's a lake, and it's bigger than the English Channel.
They can take, if they were to take all of the water out of Lake Superior and dump it on the world, it'd be a 1/4 inch deep.
Yeah.
Good Lord, that's a lot of water.
It's a very deep lake, so cut out by a lot of glaciers over many thousands of years.
Yeah.
Anyway. On our way out, we want to remind everybody of the great immortal words of Jack Kirby, who can't read that, who says, the audience is always there in comic books, and the comic book has yet to reach its full potential.
Yeah, so still the same thing.
We hope you had a good time looking over this 2001 like we did. Next week, I don't know who we're going to feature, but it'll be somebody good. Some masterful work. We'll figure it out as we go along. Could be Alex Nino, could be Alex Toth, could be who knows what. Just stop by.
I thought it was Boland's Killing Joke.
Do we have to? Anyway, no offense. No offense.
What's your respect for the man?
I have all the respect for Brian Boland. I have deep love and respect for a lot of majority of Morris work. But that work, I've got the entire collected set of Sin City. We could go through that anyway.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not keen on that. Not keen on the art. See,
yeah,
I'm a Boland man.
See, yeah.
Of the two, I'd rather look at Boland's work than Miller's work.
I'd rather look at Camelot 3000.
Yeah, fair enough.
I've got Alex Toth's InDesign work. It's got all the character sheets for every Hanna-Barbera production he ever did.
Oh, we'll do that one then.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Go through that. And
I can handle that.
That book is especially rare because they printed it without Hanna-Barbera's approval.
Oh, yeah, you mentioned this a few weeks ago.
10,000 copies, and they sent him cease and desist right up. Don't ever do that again. Letters, so yeah.
And he said, that's okay. I made some money on it.
He'd say, F him.
Yeah, I'm done.
It's pretty much it. But that was Alex,
Wow.
Respect my authority.
He just opened his files, and Daryl O'Neill, I think, is the actual coordinator of the project. He says, what if we put all these together into a book? He says, that's a waste of time. What do you want to do that for? It's just stupid character sheets. He talks about how he went home over the weekend and created the whole second tier of Super Friends just because they wanted it done. So he did it. Here's Apache Chief and all Rima and who else was in that group? Black Vulcan was in there.
Right, Black Vulcan. That's
one or two other guys because they didn't want to use Black Lightning because Tony was, always chasing his royalties. So.
Yeah.
That cease and desist order is like when in these courtroom dramas where the judge says the jury will disregard that. They say something. It's the same kind of thing. It's already out there.
Well, IDW went through and reprinted the same material, but they went through and got proper permissions and stuff. Not the exact same material, because not all of the character sheets are in the IDW book that are in the InDesign book. But both works are just amazing. So, but IDW did a 3-part hardback set of Alex Toth's work, and one was dedicated to his animation work. One was dedicated to his superhero work, I think. And the other one was dedicated to everything else. And he did a lot of stuff. So,
wow.
I've got another great book of his that has all of his comic book work he did for Cartoons magazine. That's all dragsters and cars and stuff. And the layout on that is just crazy. The compositional work is just amazing. So, anyway, as we leave, let's leave with the immortal words of Mr. Groucho Marx, who says, learn from the mistakes of others. You can never live long enough to make them all yourself.
It's great. I mean,
Thanks everybody for watching. Deeply appreciate you all. We're going out with a couple of bumps in our closing part. Make sure you go visit your local retailer. Make sure you visit aerocomics.store. Go to Amazon and check out Glenn's books. Only Death Can Save Us from New Haven Publishing is also available on Amazon. I'm sure Brian has stuff on Amazon.
Oh, I do.
Well. Rising Tide Publications, risingtide.pub. Go over there. Check them out. We'll see everybody soon. Take care, everyone.
See ya.
See ya.
Toodles.
Do you draw the Flintstones naked? There's a market for that.
Well,
I do.
It just didn't go through.
Have a question or comment for us to address on the show? Have a topic you want us to talk about? Email us at indiecomicsnetwork@gmail.com. Want your comics to arrive in pristine condition? Head over to GeminiComicSupply.com and save 10% on your next Gemini mailer order or anything in the Gemini Comic Supply store. Use coupon code RAGIN10. That's RAGIN 10.
And get it again.
I hit it. I was having trouble last night.
What was that? This is not a charade. We need total concentration.
Total concentration.
Now, once again, this time with theory.
Bye, Jack. We really shook the pillars of heaven, didn't we, Wayne?
No horseshit, Jack.